Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock. This is the UFC halftime show. Does that even make a bit of sense? This is the UFC halftime show? Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here. Today is the UFC halftime show, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, let's talk into the microphone first, people. Has anybody been over to the FightFairy's site over there? I mean, today, she's painting a picture of Bo Nickel. I mean, it looks like she's painting a picture of Jesus. Like she found, you know, like a watercolor. It looks like she found a watercoloring of Jesus. And she just put some of her own paint on it and made it try to look like Bo Nickel. Everybody see that? And there's guys over there giving her super chats and everything, giving her money for what? Raising her up. She's the Scissor King, ladies and gentlemen. Instead of the Liver King, the FightFairy's the Scissor King, ladies and gentlemen. The FightFairy is the Scissor King, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I don't know if you've ever scissored with a girl or not. I believe it's just a girl-on-girl thing. She is the king of the scissors. The FightFairy is the Scissor King, ladies and gentlemen. Right next to the Liver King, ladies and gentlemen. And the Sewer King, ladies and gentlemen, right here. You see him right here. Let's move around. We got the Sewer King here. It doesn't move. Oh, it's the leg. What camera are we looking at? Ladies and gentlemen, right here, the Sewer King. You see him? Right there. He's got his dog with him, ladies and gentlemen. Izzy. And right here, cornering the Sewer King. Cornering all the losers right here, ladies and gentlemen. It's Moss from MMA HOLES, ladies and gentlemen. The best referee of all time, Andrew Glenn, ladies and gentlemen. And the man that is not ducking anybody, ladies and gentlemen. Right here, you see him right here, ready to take on anybody. Ladies and gentlemen, here he is. Jon Jones, Mr. Bones himself, ladies and gentlemen, that's right. You heard it here from Simon Feck, 1 foot cock. Now, every camera can't see it, but right over here, you see over there, the furthest guy over there at the 3-man table, that's DC over there. The middle guy right there is Joe Rogan. The one closer to me, John, ladies and gentlemen, running the camera tonight. None other than Conor McGregor. Right over here with the money machine. Dana White, ladies and gentlemen. Laying down on the job over here. We got The Rock. He's playing grip, ladies and gentlemen. Television grip. Over here, the big man in blue. Ben Rothwell, ladies and gentlemen. Right in the middle of this, we get a little trouble here. Unbelievable. You guys don't. I'm in the middle of this and I'm having trouble here now. The microphone left. Maybe it's better. Cut that little section out there, you hear me? Okay, over here, the big man in blue right here. None other than Ben Rothwell, ladies and gentlemen. And right next to the big man, Big Ben Rothwell's Shale Sonnen, ladies and gentlemen. Back here, you have Bryce Sucks Eggs Mitchell, Nina Unibrow Drama, and it used to be Eddie Bravo. Tonight, it's WW Dago, Wes Watson from San Diego, ladies and gentlemen, taking up the third position with the Nina Drama Showerhead team today. Today is sponsored by the Nina Drama Talking Showerhead, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to be doing today, we're going to present fighters that are more deserving for the Jon Jones fight than Tom Aspinall. Who has Tom Aspinall beat? Huh? We might get Curtis Blades. I mean, he's a friend of mine, but he ain't nothing. How about that? Sorry about that, buddy. I mean, who has Tom Aspinall beat? There is nobody to beat in the heavyweight division. The only one in the heavyweight division to beat is Jon Jones. And Jon Jones can't find himself, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you know that. I'm tired of this Jon Jones thing. And Jon Jones had something very funny that he was going to present. But stupid Mick Parkin can't win a fight. But we'll get to that later on, ladies and gentlemen. But this week's news, if you haven't heard, the FightFairy has a little tiny scar. Now, if you see her live stream, I don't see any scars, so it must be like a hidden scar. The FightFairy has a little tiny scar that she loves kissed and caressed, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. So all you guys out there rizzing up her chat, go ahead and keep sending the money. Maybe you'll be able to kiss and caress her scar that she loves to have kissed and caressed on command, ladies and gentlemen. But she saves that for the ladies, you big, feckin' idiots. FightFairy. Listen, say her name out loud again, right? FightFairy. I mean, she's not Mary Poppins. She's not Tinkerbell with that little short haircut. The FightFairy. She loves to scissor with women. According to Clown Mall, anyways. That idiot that keeps erasing all of his videos. The big stupid Clown Mall. I don't need nobody. I don't need nobody, ladies and gentlemen. I don't need nobody. Clown Mall. Big idiot. Anyways, he's our correspondent in this. He's the one that dug all this up. That the FightFairy loves having her little tiny scar kissed and caressed, ladies and gentlemen. She loves scissoring with women, and she loves taking stupid guys' money. She's playing you, man. You guys look like idiots in there. Oh, hey, oh, I love your painting of Bo Nickel. She did that painting in 15 minutes? I mean, people can do it, but it ain't her. It's fake. You didn't see the process. She didn't show you the process. She worked on that for 7 weeks, I bet. Ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a short show tonight because these idiots again. I keep saying I'm going to quit. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Did anybody see Minty Bets tonight? Minty Bets. Anybody see Minty Bets? In that cherry red leather dress, ladies and gentlemen? Yeah. So somebody goes on the MMA Guru, right, in this chat, and they say, you know, Minty Bets has lost her aura. I wasn't the one that, you know, wrote it, okay? He's trying to say that, you know, she's not as good looking anymore. I would really love to see that, dude. No, not really. Anyways, Minty Bets looking good, ladies and gentlemen. She just got on my radar. I walk around here in the Apex, right? Minty Bets, I've been walking around, I guess she's been there for like 4 years or 2. I'm usually walking around in the Apex. She's as scarce as Joe Rogan. Minty Bets, she doesn't walk the halls or nothing. At least you see me in a drama once in a while. That bitch that never talks to anybody, but at least she walks around a little bit. Minty Bets doesn't walk around nothing. Minty Bets has the ability to walk around in the Apex, you know, where they're fighting. But she doesn't. You never see that bitch. She comes in the back door. Can't come in the front door with everybody else. She's got to take the bus, you know, the fighter bus. She's got to take that bus and come in the back door. Never comes out where everybody else is. Everybody else does, except Joe Rogan. Minty Bets, I didn't even know she's part of the organization. I walk around in the Apex all the time. The only person you don't see is Joe Rogan. And now I gotta add Minty Bets to it. I didn't even know that bitch was around. I don't watch the TV stuff. I'm in the Apex. I just hired, after all these years, I just hired a few people. I can sit out here at the tour bus and do the show. Minty Bets. It's like Minty Ghost. Like, where is she? I see everybody else. I started watching this stuff on TV recently. And I'm like, who's this girl? Minty Bets. Anyways, Tom Aspinall. Who has he beat? There's nobody in the heavyweight division. I'd like to see Jon Jones, right here, Jon Jones, take on the Sewer King and his dog Izzy. Israel Adesanya. And have the corner be Moss from MMA HOLES, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, that would be more entertaining than stupid Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall. Let me tell you something. Tom Aspinall has been going on the MMA Guru's YouTube channel since 2019, ladies and gentlemen. Remember like 6 months ago when the MMA Guru went into Tom Aspinall's live YouTube and they acted like they didn't know each other? like it was their first meeting? Oh, man. The MMA Guru, Tom Aspinall, and Mick Parkin. There's a big story right there. Yeah. You heard me, ladies and gentlemen. Anyways, right here, Jon Jones takes on the Sewer King, a.k.a. Jose Youngs, from MMA Fighting on SBN. And his little sidekick, Izzy, Israel Adesanya. And the corner, ladies and gentlemen. The guy with the big, like the double, what is it? He's got the double Grand Canyon, you know, wrinkles across his head. And he's got that one big wrinkle up and down. Moss. From the MMA HOLES, ladies and gentlemen. Right there. You see him? The dude that's got the hot chick, you know? That's right. I mean, how does that old dude get that girl, huh? You know what? I would get in the ring with the MMA holes guy. As long as he puts that girl on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, anybody in here go into MMA holes chat? Tell him Simon Feck wants to fight him. And I want him to put that girl on the line, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever her name is, ladies and gentlemen. You hear me? There you go. All right. So other people that deserve Jon Jones more than Tom Aspinall, besides the Sewer King, Izzy, and cornering the MMA holes guy, could be, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, we got somebody typing in chat. This is going to be the first time, I guess, we're going to answer or react to a chat, ladies and gentlemen. Mark this down on the calendar, would you, ladies and gentlemen? We can't read it, ladies and gentlemen. It's all rated. Let's get this out here. SUNtzuMEDIA. Ladies and gentlemen. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. And that's a free one, right? I mean, like the MMA guru would go around and he would say, you're going to have to pay me first. There you go. Hey, thanks a lot for the ladies and gentlemen. I just asked Guru his thoughts, Simon Feck, and he turned white as a ghost and depressed a fuck. Son! Listen to me, son. The audio is going to be better when I repost this. Okay. My live audio is never as good, right? None of it's good, but wow, what a great one. Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest question ever asked on the Simon Feck 1 foot cock show, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, after 6 months, somebody asked the guru about Simon Feck, and the man turned white as a ghost. Wow. Simon Feck here. 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. What a great question. Let me all right. We might even put the Jon Jones to sleep tonight. All right. Son, I'm not sure that you know, basically what's going on here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. The MMA guru set his alarm clock for the UFC Seattle, okay, to watch the Simon Feck show live stream. After he watched that 1 hour and 15-minute live stream, he broke down. I mean, it was almost like, I don't want to say it. All right, so what he did, he went into a panic, and he took all of his live streams down from 3 to 6 years ago. Took them all down. Then he thought, I better not take them down, I guess, because I had to go back on and do another live stream and tell him that it was a bad idea to take the live streams down, because I thought I had them all recorded. Turns out I didn't have any of them recorded. He eventually put them all back up. But what he did was he took all the members, like other people did. He took all the members' live streams and put them in the way so they're like tucked way back. But if you just go in, think of a card like 3 years to 6 years ago. Just type in the card and put in like, Fight Companion or live stream or something like that. They come up. It's easy. He tried burying them. Son. Wow. That's it. Okay, so the longest, I'm telling you right now, and I know this, there's more to that story. The longest watcher, you can't really say he's a fan, but the person who's been watching this show the longest is the MMA Guru. The MMA Guru did not start his YouTube channel in good faith or something. I don't know what to say. The MMA Guru had an unfair advantage. The MMA Guru had an unfair advantage over everybody else. And we'll get into the story about the name MMA Guru too. That's got nothing to do with this. So the MMA Guru had an unfair advantage over everybody else. The MMA Guru was stealing from a good friend of mine, David Feldman from the BKFC. David Feldman went into debt. David Feldman was about ready to lose his wife. And you got the MMA Guru creating growing his channel, making money with illegal pay-per-view links from the UFC at BKFC. Yeah. So back to the UFC. Hey, son, I mean, I didn't think through this, make it run smooth, but here we are, right? The first question I ever asked or responded to is my son right here. Unbelievable, man. Okay, so after the MMA Guru set his alarm clock to watch the Simon Feck live stream, he watches it. He comes on after I ended the stream. He came on and he did a 10-hour stream, ladies and gentlemen. He thought it was the last time he's ever going to have a YouTube channel. It's like he's that greedy. He's got a couple $1 million. And he went on a 10-hour live stream after that. Because he didn't know what to do. He's all fired up. He's like, this is it? Simon Feck's going to take me down. If I wanted to take the MMA Guru down, I mean, I'm a friend of David Feldman. I'm a friend of Dana White. I would have done it. So he goes on this 10-hour live stream. You guys remember that, right? It was right before UFC Seattle. Then after that, all of his live streams get taken down. And then I had to go back on. I couldn't believe it. I was like, way to go. Now I don't have all this evidence to play around with. I didn't have any of them recorded. I thought I did. So I had to go and make up a live stream where I told him it would be a bad idea to take them all down. He put them all back up again. But he sprinkled it in tens and thousands of live member streams in there. So it's harder if you go into that area. You got to go back and back and back. It takes like 7 hours to go back that far. Even no matter how good your computer is, you got to keep it. It's got to keep refreshing to get that far back. But if you just type it in Google or whatever, it comes right up. It's easy that way. All right. So let's go through this again. Sun, my buddy, Sun, S-U-N here, T-Z-U, Media. My best friend. Let's go through this again. The MMA guru finds out. I say to him, it took you long enough, right? It was about 3 months in. But I was practicing, doing like some, so I got another big channel somewhere else, but I mean practicing this stupid thing. I was doing weather reports and things like that. But anyways, 3 months in, I'm like, to the guru, I said, it took you long enough. So he sets his alarm. His streams started starting. Is that, hey, I got a bird brain, right? His streams were getting to where every time I ended, that's when his started. And I do know that he set his alarm clock to the one just before UFC Seattle. Then when I got done, he went on a 10-hour stream. Then he took all his live streams down from 3 to 6 years ago. Then later on, why he was late coming to UFC Seattle, because he was doing all that work. You try to push a button on each one of those member live streams and making them be where you can't get to them, but they're sort of public, right? You have to individually click on each one. It took him forever. And then, after that, UFC Seattle. The famous, you go on, listen to me. Simon Feck, 1 foot cock right here, wants you to go to UFC Seattle of the MMA Guru's live stream. The one for the card. And listen to him. He's crying. Because he knows Simon Feck has him cornered. I mean, it's not good. The MMA Guru, you shouldn't have done that. And then the idiot just leaves the stuff up. Yeah, I mean, I would turn white as a ghost too. You know how the MMA Guru always goes around, always talking about he doesn't want to go to jail for like people in England and in Great Britain, the UK, people are going to jail for memes. He always talks about he doesn't want to go to jail. Nobody wants to go to jail, right? If you're not doing something bad or have something bad that is like out there, like sitting out there like a duck, like Jon Jones, right there. The MMA Guru hasn't been up to any good. I was in the apex when he got his push. I was in the apex, and it was Amy Kaplan. Listen to me. It was Amy Kaplan, the one that mentioned. I was right there. It was Amy. I remember this. It was Amy Kaplan, Jose Youngs, a.k.a. Sewer King, and it was Oscar Willis, and there's a guy named Kenny, and myself, and it was basically just us right there. And then somebody goes, "Oh yeah," and then so, and then Amy Kaplan goes, "Oh yeah, like the MMA guru," and then everybody's going, "MMA guru, MMA guru." That's when he blew up. Amy Kaplan blew the MMA guru up. And then he goes, you know, anybody's going to say something about it. He doesn't know. But then he does that thing on Amy Kaplan. And that turns out to be a whole big thing too. Because of Jose Youngs and Hurricane. And Nina Drama got involved. And musical MMA. So Amy Kaplan mentions his name. And then him and his buddies, they all get together and go, you know, and try to tackle Amy Kaplan and Nina Drama. The MMA guru's going around, you know, going after a girl. He shouldn't say he's sorry. Going after a girl that blew him up and supposedly made him all this money. That's a whole other thing. So Amy Kaplan doesn't go around saying, because the Sewer King went on musical MMA's song Man-Eater about Nina Drama, her boss, Amy Kaplan's boss, is Jose Youngs. Jose Youngs is the Sewer King. The Sewer King goes on musical MMA's song Man-Eater that's about Nina Drama. Nina Drama stuck up for Amy Kaplan. Amy Kaplan's not saying, hey, my boss is Jose Youngs, the Sewer King. That was hard to follow. If you can't follow it, who cares? Unbelievable. I'm not even looking in the chat anymore. I just got the best question there is. The MMA guru, why is a ghost? You know, that's another thing too. Listen to this, right? I could have done this a different way. I'm in the Apex. I mean, Dana walks around. David Feldman, BKFC. I go to his house when I'm up that way. I got these people's phone numbers. As a matter of fact, Dana White was on national news. Matter of fact, listen to this. Dana White was on McAfee's show. Super Bowl time. And I'm there. And Pat McAfee, a friend of mine, points out and goes, hey, look at that guy right there, Dana White. And Dana White goes, yeah, I know that guy. He's got my phone number. And then Pat McAfee says, hey, I don't even have your phone number. And then Dana White goes, that guy does. Who was that? That was me. I could call Dana White any time. My point is these two idiots that work here, Mike and Scott, they had, at the beginning, they had the ability to go on the MMA Guru's chat, and they put a couple things in there. I told them to stop doing it. Don't go in there. Let's recap this again. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 Foot Cock. My good friend, Mr. Sun himself, just told me that the MMA Guru was asked in his chat about Simon Feck, and he turned white as a ghost. The MMA Guru has been setting his alarm clock more than once. I know 100% that the MMA Guru has been setting his alarm clock. He's my #1 fan, but for the wrong reason. I'm a big fan of the MMA Guru. But you can't feck. You know, like Simon Feck, you can't feck with my friends. especially David Feldman. The dude almost lost everything. And the MMA gurus going around passing out illegal pay-per-view links like they're candy to grow his YouTube channel. Now you get my point? David Feldman almost lost his marriage, putting everything on the line, his house and everything else. Then they couldn't pay for anything, and he had to start selling pieces and parts of his company. And you got people like the MMA guru going around giving out illegal pay-per-view links. It's funny how it's funny nobody has to buy the pay-per-views anymore. You just buy a membership. So the MMA guru, I know I'm saying it over and over again. There's more to it. I asked the MMA guru, I asked the MMA guru just to say he's sorry to David Feldman, Dana White. He won't do it, but I understand it's like admitting guilt. And Dana White, like, man, I was in the Apex. It's like 4 years ago. And Dana White, after the press conferences, Dana White was walking around, we're talking. Well, he was talking to a couple other people. And he's like, man, I'm sorry, I had to bring that guy to, I had to bring him to criminal charges. And I had to bring this guy, and then this one really hurt because he was a friend of mine. I had to bring him to criminal charges. It's all over pay-per-view links. The MMA guru, thousands. On his live stream, thousands. Giving out pay-per-view links. To grow his channel. There's more to it. Ladies and gentlemen, today's show is sponsored by the Nina Drama Talking Showerhead. The Nina Drama Talking Showerhead gives you wisdom, tells you what to do. The Nina Drama Talking Showerhead is the best in the business, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, on today's show, somebody asked, Mr. Simon Feck, Mr. SUN asked the MMA guru, hey, what about Simon Feck 1 foot cock? And the MMA guru turned white as a ghost. I mean, it was a big ghost, but it was a ghost. None other. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck 1 foot cock here, using the Nina Drama Talking Showerhead to talk to you, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now, basically, the cat's out of the bag, right? Man, you threw me for a big one here, man. I've been thinking all day long, what I'm going to talk about. We're going to talk about Jon Jones right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right, how about this? Let's talk about this. The MMA guru he's like a wrecking ball. Okay? The MMA guru is like a wrecking ball. The man, Mick Parkin, the heavyweight, he can't go around telling people that his cousin is the MMA guru. Now, the MMA guru is a big deal. I get it. And we're going to talk about the name MMA guru here in a minute. But the MMA guru is a big deal. Wouldn't you think Mick Parkin would want to go around and tell people that his cousin is the MMA guru? And you know who found that out? Simon Feck 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. 2019, Tom Aspinall comes on the MMA Guru show and asks the MMA Guru to move to Manchester. In 2019, Mick Parkin is like 1 year younger or older, I can't remember. Mick Parkin starts training in 2019 with Tom Aspinall. In 2015 or 16, the MMA Guru's cousin graduates high school. His name's Aaron Me. Oh, hey, Simon Feck's doxing people. So Aaron Me graduates high school. Mick Parkin, his cousin lives wherever his cousin lives. I'm pretty sure it's London, right? From Manchester, Mick Parkin goes on this Facebook page and congratulates his cousin. Congratulations. Graduate high school, Mick Parkin. The same account on it has Mick Parkin stuff. The fighter, Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin can't go around telling anybody. When Dana White finds out about Mick Parkin being his cousin, going through the Apex, going through what is it, Dana White Contender Series, and not tell that story, maybe it's not a good story to tell. Tom Aspinall should also have told Dana White, or somebody, hey, look, I got this guy right here, but, I don't know. His cousin is MMA Guru. His name's Mick Parkin. Guess who knows? Jon Jones, ladies and gentlemen. I've been around in the Apex forever. As a matter of fact, just recently here, check this out. The MMA Guru. I don't know which live stream it is, or which he was going over about people asking questions. It was UFC Miami. And the MMA Guru only did this live stream or video. I think it's a video. It's still up, right? It's UFC Miami. Don't forget to check out UFC Seattle, okay? So the UFC recent one in Miami, UFC Miami, the MMA Guru goes in, does a video about people, the media asking questions, because he thinks he's got me nailed down. Now, I know that guy asking the questions, the guy that stutters, like me, stutters. It wasn't me asking the question, but the MMA Guru has been trying to find out who I am. Then somebody else in the Apex comes up to me. Hey, who do you think Simon Feck is? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm trying to wonder that myself. I mean, the Simon Feck guy's kind of popping up. He says he's here in the Apex. I don't know who he is. Oh my God. Oh man. Hey, how about this? The MMA Guru. Your buddy, Jose Young's the one that had to beat feet because he thought he was going to get in trouble for being the Sewer King and being on the Man-Eater video from the musical MMA guy about Nina Drama. Why don't you just talk to Jose Youngs and tell him to look back at the media events? I'm in the room most of the time. I got my guy in there right now. I used to be in there with a camera for years. Now I got my guy in there. Listen, I have every MMA Guru live companion, live stream, and everything recorded, okay? But now I've been having fun. And I just haven't really got myself to go, and I put a few things out, but I mean, it's thousands of times of him hiding the illegal pay-per-view. Somebody fell down, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, so I'm going to save the Jon Jones show for some other time, right? Sun, SUNTZU Media, ladies and gentlemen. Asking Simon Feck, 1 foot cock, the best question, statement, whatever in chat. It's officially the very first one I've ever read. A couple months ago, I read a few. I don't know, like 1 or 2. And it wasn't really like I was gonna, or whatever like that. My very first one I read. And I never even looked at the ones, the 4 or 5 that are in there. Because you can set it where they stay. The chat, the comments stay. You can set it that way. But once you end it, and then it goes to private, you have to put it on public. And then it erases all those comments. I haven't been looking at what people write. So I don't know if you've been trying to tell me this a long time ago. But I guess you said it just happened tonight. Okay. Let's see. You can't see it right here, right? Every camera can't see it, but look at that table over there. Let's see these guys over here. DC and Joe Rogan and John Anik talking about this tomorrow. As a matter of fact, how about this, right? How about this, right? MMA Guru, you can have your buddy Jose Youngs verify this, right? And then other people go, anybody can know that. Yeah, well, I was going to give the layout of the Apex and everything. But I don't even think Jose Youngs goes upstairs at the Apex. I've never seen Jose Youngs go upstairs at Apex. I've never seen Oscar Willis go upstairs at the Apex. I've never seen Kenny go upstairs at Apex. I've never seen Amy Kaplan go upstairs at Apex. But this dude does. Simon Feck, 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. So for me telling about everything that's upstairs, it doesn't make a bit of sense. These guys don't know nothing. My point is I could tell Dana White at any time. I really should have told David Feldman, though. Because that one really pisses me off. Other people trying to grow their YouTube channel, and they're not using illegal pay-per-view links. No wonder the MMA Guru turned white today when the name Simon Feck was brought up. I knew it was going to happen eventually. He's not even smart enough to take the word Simon and Feck out. Now the chat, you can ban words. Yeah, the MMA Guru has known about me. He's been my #1 fan for all the wrong reasons, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock. The MMA guru. His favorite UFC live streaming fight companion is Simon Feck, 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock. I am so happy and proud that my #1 fan, ladies and gentlemen, my #1 fan, ladies and gentlemen, is the MMA guru. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock. Ladies and gentlemen, the MMA guru turned white as a ghost today when he was asked in his chat about Simon Feck. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, your fearless leader, the MMA guru, happened to turn white today when he was asked about Simon Feck, 1 foot cock, in his chat today. The big boy himself turned white as a ghost. Like, I mean, matter of fact, who the feck is Simon Feck? He knows who Simon Feck is. You guys need to go to that UFC Seattle. The UFC Seattle card that the MMA guru did. He comes on. That's right after he set his alarm clock, I believe, for the very first time. As a matter of fact, here's the story, right? So I knew that the MMA guru was going to come on and watch, my stream that night. I knew it. So I know it's like, when he gets up, his time frame and everything, his time schedule. So I set it to, start at 10. And then I purposely waited to try to see if he was going to go live. Because at that time, he was going live at about 10 o'clock. I don't know, it's probably, you probably can't look it up. But back in the day, he was going like Eastern time, 10 o'clock Eastern time. And then after I started going, live around 10, 10:30. So he started coming around 11, 11:30, 12. And then right around the UFC time, UFC Seattle, people are saying, what happened to your schedule? I mean, what are you doing on now? What are you doing on now? Because he was watching my streams, ladies and gentlemen. Name another live streamer that's a giant. He's a giant, all right. That's a giant MMA guru goes around and watches. This little feckin' show right here, the Simon Feck show. You don't feck with my friends, man. It's like someone, I don't know, like a big old stab wound, and you're throwing salt in it. David Feldman was going through fecking hell. Man worked his whole life. About ready to lose everything, lose his wife. Because his wife's like, we worked our whole lives here, we're going to lose it. Oh, so David Feldman, it's okay because David Feldman's okay now. No, he would have 100%, 50%, 40%, 30% by the time he got done. But no, people are just, stealing his pay-per-view links. As a matter of fact, they're growing their YouTube channel, bragging that they're millionaires, going around selling them, whatever you want to call it. Ladies and gentlemen, Simon Feck here, 1 foot cock.